So another style of literature, rather novel, another style of novel might be the mystery novel. Now, I don't read a lot of mystery novels, but it's easy to recognize one when you do, right? The mystery novel is going to kind of be one of the more obvious story types that are going to really exemplify the play between story and plot, as like a formalist might separate. So we go from that view. Almost so much that plot almost overtakes story, right? It almost is more important. Story is almost more important than the plot. I'm sorry, I got that wrong. Of course, that's not true. What's driving will always have authority over what's driven, right? So, device, literary device, novel device will always be first encountered and propulsion when reading, encouragement to read over story, and we can say story is actually a meta thing discovered, and we could also say story is a thing put forth by the author, which devices explain and work through, but as a reader, which is more fun way to look at it, don't give a shit about authors and their intent, it's an emergent, and it's a non-narrative emergent, even though story is basically it's kind of weird saying story is non-narrative, so maybe that's not a good way to say it, but it's a non-reading. How about that? Active reading. It's a non-active reading emergent. It's something that happens when you active read. It doesn't propel you into reading such as things like devices, like in text, like logically contained devices do. So the mystery novel is one that almost flips this out, as the book starts off with the narrative, right? So it's one of the types of novels that start off with the novel with a specific thing as kind of the hinge point to the whole trail of the novel. One of the last one I talked about on some video is the one with there's like someone called it a artifact, but each character interacts with a single item, and then the book kind of goes from there, or single location. Stephen King does this a lot, and think of like It, or at least the second half of It, right? The whole first half is like their interaction, and then there's their exploration of themselves. And so what you can do is guess what's happening based on their interaction with the artifact, if the author is good, right? So you should be able to guess. This one, a mystery is put forth. And, it'll be in the beginning. It might not be, here's the mystery, but it'll kind of unfold, and you'll notice that there's a mystery, and usually be heavy-handed. When you do, you're going to meet a cast of characters, right? And a good author is going to subtly make these characters, it's going to put the answer to the mystery quantifiable within the personalities, or even maybe within the actions, and the actions is okay, if you go, the answer was this guy did this one thing at the one time. But a better mystery novel is going to have the answer to the mystery is going to be quantified once you know all of the actors within it. So you're going to be able to look at their thought processes and weave your own guesses and stuff like that. So throughout what I mean by the story and plot are sort of switched as important is that throughout the whole novel, as soon as you're introduced to that, the mystery pervades all thoughts, pervades all reading. So, wow, yes, you are ideally engaging in pretty scenes and stuff. I don't know, someone's following me. I wonder if it's a cop. Shit. Well, I've got my light on, but there wouldn't be any reason to. Because I turned this weird way. Let's turn left here, see where he follows me. Okay, no, they didn't follow me. I mean, it still could have been a cop. Why is it so fucking hot in here? I just realized it was really hot and I could just be getting flushed from worry. But the, now I gotta turn around because I took the wrong way. So yeah, and so really the novel is the mystery novel, a good one, is really a good study for this sort of macro emergent, which can almost take precedent, literally cannot, but almost seems to take precedent over the actual act of reading. Now, look, we have some good things about that. One, we have kind of a noble thing, which is, if it's done well, we have a writer giving, we have a reader engaging in puzzle solving. And anytime someone is intrigued to solve a puzzle, especially when it has to do with other humans and reading mind and theory of mind and intent and stuff, that's going to be beneficial to that person's, I'll just use the word intellect now, but engagement with the world, right? Solving multi-layered puzzles, stuff like that. And, complexity and age sort of all come into that. But since the focus is more on that single meta overarch, emergent, and there's going to be less offshoot of ideas. So usually, a lot of times when I read a really good novel, I have to close the book or shut the audiobook off every chapter, once a chapter, or every few minutes, or sometimes less, sometimes more than that, and think about something that popped in my head that was directly related to the novel, something that was going on, an idea. And so that's going to happen less with the mystery novel, although you get the larger benefit of the one thing that does pervade outside of the reading of. It's a very prominent thing. It's very obvious.